Hello, this is Dr. Velasquez with two lovely community partners here, Mohammed and Tanya. They are from different parts of the world. And today
Hello.
we're discussing the bylaws of the International Congregation of Science and Spirituality. So the bylaws are a document that I have drafted. We approved it in Spanish and in Portuguese, and now we're going to scrutinize it with the English speaking community from all over the world. Anyone who speaks English is welcome to come. So let us start by you introducing yourself, Mohammed and Tanya, Tanya and Mohammed, in whatever order you feel comfortable. Just raise your hand or start speaking.
Ladies first.
Oh, that's so chivalrous of you. Thank you. Hi, my name's Tanya. I'm currently in Perth, Western Australia, um, but I'm originally from Cape Town in South Africa. So I've spent about half my life in South Africa and half my life in Australia. And so I'm here to assist where I can.
Okay, I'm Mohammed. I'm from Tunisia. I born in Tunisia. I'm 100% Tunisian. I live all my life in Tunis. So, yeah, I work in hospitality management. I'm 24 years old. Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh, you are
I live
half my
here also
age.
in the Medina of Tunis. So, yeah, we do a project of Amazigh. So, it's nice, yeah. And we want to grow up with the groups, our group in WhatsApp, you know.
Okay, so we have three people here. Tanya is covering South Africa and Australia. Mohammed is covering Tunisia, and I am in a few countries also English speaking. So let us start reviewing a little bit the bylaws. If you have any questions, any comments, just interrupt me and start talking. And let us start from the beginning. This is going to be then on YouTube and we can share it with everyone. So, okay, I'm gonna mute you, and whenever you wanna talk, just take yourself off mute. So these are our bylaws, right? Like our name is in Spanish and Portuguese is different compared to English. And this is our version number one, and we would be founding the third founding. This is the third founding headquarters. The first one was in Spanish, the second one was in Portuguese, the third one, actually, I should say English speaking community in, so there is a possibility that is in the United States because I have land there and we can found it there. But it could also be in Australia, in South Africa, or in Tunis. Whenever you speak next, you can tell me a little bit like how would it be to found such a movement to recognize it with the government over there. So why are we doing this, right? Like the foundations, why are we originating this movement? So what I'm saying, and you're welcome to give your opinion and we can modify this, what we were saying was like we recognize, we accept, and we comply with certain principles that we believe are truth. And the first one, part one, speaks about some kind of a spiritual source. Remember, this is international congregation, so international union of science and spirituality. So, what is this about a spiritual source? So, we say, well, spiritual, ancestral, and traditional knowledge, all everything that has happened in the past, from the origin of our species, from evolution, from the ocean of existence, from the first life that appeared in the oceans, this is science. So we recognize all this knowledge, all this uh, wisdom, we recognize as necessary for the well-being of the community, like kind of being connected to our roots and our origins. And this is already, I argue, or argument this in the book Science and Shamanism, a Necessary Encounter or Fusion. So I say spirituality is kind of our origins in number one. Then number two, it speaks about oral tradition. It says like, wait, we recognize that oral tradition, all that knowledge, the culture, the wisdom of the community, the identity of the various countries, that is usually spoken. There is no written language often, but this that can be also extraverbal and has been passed on through generation is essential for our collective memory and to help us achieve individual and social purposes. Like there is something about ancestry. And then we say, like, well, the people who hold this wisdom, like the natives from Australia, the natives from Africa, the natives from Tunis, which are called the Amazigh, they hold tremendous wisdom. We have to listen to them. And actually, the UNESCO, it determined this cultural heritage of humanity is saying this that oral traditions are foundational to keep humanity cultures alive. So paying attention to the natives of the land. Then we say, well, there is some kind of creative universal force that we may call it physics, we may call it God, we may call it Allah, we may call it the one or the ocean of existence, or however, this creative force that they describe around the Big Bang, and there has been some physical phenomenon described, this intelligence, this has created a very diverse world with different principles and values and even religions. So there has been some diversity, some independence, but there is also some union around all this. Then we say, okay, well, there is a part of archaeology that is called rescue archaeology that tries to recover this ancestral wisdom. And it is a science recognized since the 18th century. And we use it to kind of guide our understanding of the world. I'm going to do number 5 and then we're going to do a pause. We also speak about anthropology as a science that determines some visual, some ritual, some iconography, determines the memory of humans throughout life. So we will be using it as an anchor to determine this universal ancestral wisdom, and we believe that these can guide us towards a future aligned with our origins. So these are some of the things that we're using to found this movement. Let us stop in number 5 and see if you have any questions, any comments, any ideas, any suggestions so far. Feel free to unmute yourself and say whatever you feel.
I'm just making notes in the chat so that as you go along, we've got a couple of things we can go through in the chat. So if you look at the chat, then you'll see it's just a couple of comments and feedback that's in there.
Yes, thank you, Tanya, for doing this. This is good to write down the questions in the chat, not to forget. So Tanya is asking, do we need to nominate a country for this organization, or can it be in various countries? Yeah, it can be in various countries. I mean, it doesn't have to be one. On the other hand, the more countries we have signed up for the organization, this will facilitate our international events, trades, be able to recruit funds and people for us to work together and to practice the things that we believe. Then Tanya also asked, ancestors and cultural heritage. This will be an interesting one. In Australia, it's the Aboriginals exactly. But in South Africa, we have 11 official languages. based on the original tribes that make up our heritage. Exactly. So there is such tremendous richness. And then imagine, right, in a fun world, like how much can we do? Events, exploration, international trading. I don't know. How can we help? How can we utilize? How we can continue it, right? Because often our natives are not valued, so we're losing the
Mm.
native culture. So how do we strengthen it? How do we transmit that? How do we practice? Good points, Tanya.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
So if I go through, because I've had exposure to a lot of different cultures as well, there's a very consistent power in storytelling and in music. And that seems to last the test of time. However, what I do find interesting and understand, so maybe Mohammed, I'll explain to you my heritage so that I can make a bit more sense. So I'm born in South Africa, and it
Mhm.
was during the apartheid time where I was deemed or labeled or classified is the right word as colored. So not white, colored. So it's a mix between black and white.
Yes.
And what that means is,
Okay.
we couldn't do a lot of stuff that white people could do, and so it left us really struggling, and we kind of like a forgotten race. So our culture has kind of been swept under the carpet for the longest time. So, and the reason why I say that is there seems to be for a lot of the white people I've been in contact with, they don't. Okay, and this is a very blanket statement, and it doesn't mean that it's real, but my exposure is certain white people have more a connection to commercial music as opposed to traditional music. Does that make sense?
Uh, okay, you talk about black and white people. The Okay, I want to explain to you one point. Now, in that time, here in Tunisia, in the north of Africa, so we have so much black people live with us, so much, and they live, they work, they are happy, and just small part didn't happy because they make some groups and just say some things like, "Hey, Africa is like Africa is mine. We are black, so Africa is mine." So I have a lot of pages. If you want, also I can send you. But just we want to live together, all safe. Uh, and one time I read a paragraph from one from South Africa. I don't know where exactly, Cote d'Ivoire or somewhere. He say, "Hey, Tunis is mine, and Morocco is our country, and Algeria. We need to be there. You are not from us. You are not African. Go to Europe. Go to."
And the land is for everyone, right? We all belong on the land. It's not for one specific race or culture. I think
Now, mm,
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
Now they do so much groups in Instagram, in Facebook, but why we can't live together all? That's it. So we can build nice. Africa is rich, is not poor. Africa is not poor.
Okay,
Africa is so rich. So
you're actually
we have
making me think
God, we have everything.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay. I guess, yes, unity, union, unity.
Love, love. We
Yes,
all bonded
but
by love.
yes, but I think we really have to start um doing it and practicing it. And I think even kind of forgetting about the skin colors, because even when we say you're black or white or African or this or that, it's like in a manner we are categorizing and dividing. So I wonder if there is a way how we can start thinking and speaking where we kind of like blur the divisions of
Yeah.
colors and
You
culture.
know,
So I don't know. I will have to do it myself. Let us continue. Let us do five more. So
Okay.
hold it there so we can advance a little bit. If you have anything you want to say, put it in the chat. Let us do five more. I'm going to mute you for the next five so it doesn't get a noise in there. Let me share the screen. So I think the ancestry part is kind of like, okay, we're green, we're curious. It's like, yes, it's like we're one human race. Okay, number six. Actually, this is interesting. Number six speaks about this. It's saying, well, there is abundant evidence, genetic, DNA, radiocarbon, archaeological evidence saying that people, humans, we left the African continent between 70,000 to 100,000 years ago. And from there, the African men went to Europe and then Asia. After that, men went to Australia and even like farther Asia, like Australasia. And that was, oh, and from there, it went to the Americas through like Canada and Antarctica over there 23,000 years ago. It's like, yeah, so we're really like all one. Uh, and then it speaks about spirituality and religion, like being a manifestation, right? Because as the human race started dividing, uh, then they started coming up with different versions of spirituality and religion and based on the ecosystems and the geography of the planet. So we're kind of saying, like, yes, again, there is division, but there is a common origin. Then it says, well, more recently, then there has been some international, well-established religions, and we name some of them like Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Judaism, and these are very widely recognized. These are distributed and there have been wars and conquests and some people have like voluntarily joined these movements and we also say like yes and let us not forget let us remember that there is also called ethnic religions. So there are the big mainstream established religions, but these are the ethnic religions too. Like Tanya mentioned the Aboriginals from Australia. Like Mohammed said, the Amazigh from Northern Africa. And there are the Andeans and the Amazonians that I work with also from South America, right? So we have many types of spiritual lineages, the old ones and the modern ones, and that's okay. Then we also speak a little bit about what happened with the African slaves that they got transported to Portugal, to the United States, to Cuba. And with that transportation, there has been tremendous mixture of cultures and religions. So again, it's different individuality and variety, but there is also a common origin. Um, so we speak about that. And then number eight, we said, well, but let us remember so if there are some native and ancient ancestral tribes, groups, communities in the world, that mean that they hold the most original wisdom. So we want to talk to them. And we want to see what is that wisdom about because we want to know the ancestry and we want to also know the modern and feed, nourish ourselves with everything possible. Maybe we can find some relief of some of our quests, our anguish, our questions, some of the holes that we feel in our soul, right? So we're going to be searching in all those sources, and that's okay. Then number nine, we said, well, it's kind of the same, right? Number nine, it says about the same. Yeah, we wanna, and here we also speak well, and there is so much variety in the images, in the figures, in the divinities that they use. We talk about angels, archangels, and we also mention like Islam. It doesn't have any figure, so everything is okay. It's almost like a menu of a spirituality that we can choose. But the important thing, I believe, is to have some sort of a spirituality, even if it's nature. At least the people who are here in the congregation, we believe in that. Okay, I'm going to stop here before going to part two. So we describe some beliefs, the spiritual source. We kind of spoke about that. And then in part two or section B, we're going to talk about some of the current problems that we are considering and the reason why we're gathering to target some of these problems. I'm going to stop share. And again, feel free to comment, to ask, to share. And I'm going to be reading the chat. So just unmute yourself.
Yeah, put mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it. Tanya is saying the beautiful thing about Australia. Oh, I think you said something else. Yeah. Okay. You said ancestors and cultural. Oh my God, I got lost. One, two, here. Okay.
Three
So Tanya
comments.
is saying, yeah, I think, based on our age, Generation X, we use this language as part of our everyday life. However, when I look at my son, he's in his 20s and born here in Australia. This isn't a consideration at all. Yes, to consider the intergenerational differences. The beautiful thing about Australia is that it is very open to receive and accommodate so many different cultures that for me, coming from South Africa, I had to adjust and adapt to this new way of living, and I had to make a conscious choice not to raise my child in the environment and transgenerational trauma I had experienced and lived through. Yeah, some parts of the world and some periods of life can really be traumatic. So when I started chatting, I did want to just clarify that what I meant with my earlier first statement was more about what and how we can connect each other. Hence the storytelling and music as a suggestion, because despite who and what you are, who and what we are, music seems to land with so many people, irrespective of the origins. It feels like it has a direct link to the soul or the innermost parts. Definitely culture, right? Culture. And especially the ancestral rhythms. Yeah. Mohammed, do you want to add? Do you want to say anything in this time?
Hello. Actually, the music help a lot. The music, and I know the music of Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Everywhere, everybody know.
And
So,
that's, you're right, Mohammed. That's what brings us together. It's that type of music. So you've got like, there's almost two spheres. It's the commercial one and the heritage ancestral one that is, you know,
mhm,
that
mhm.
is specific to our culture, where we come
Yes.
from. But then we all have this connection to like a Michael Jackson or a Tupac
But
or, you know,
of course, I know.
Yes,
Yes, meanings,
yes,
so much meanings, and the music like can touch so much people. Yeah. Sometimes also in the stadium, like Free Palestine, and they can put so the message of the stadium and the music touch so much people. It's international thing, like how to
it's
say.
the international language of love, I'm going to say.
Yeah, yeah.
definitely. Yes. So, and as we consider all these and analyze music as a powerful source, is there are many opportunities to create new uh, musical styles that blends. I mean, things are becoming recreated all the time. We create, we recreate, we use innovation. So, what are the new, the modern musical styles that incorporate the old, that incorporate some meaningful words, that incorporate positive anticipations to the mind, that incorporate uh yeah, positive affirmations and mantras and all the good things, right? What are the different types of music that help us release the emotional networks, that help us connect with the spirituality, right? Science and spirituality. So a lot to explore, and I think you're going to be having ideas and coming across people. So this is a perfect movement to explore all that, to do festivals, to do events, international once a year, every couple years. Okay, let us do five more, and then you can use the chat and we'll do another pause in about 5 minutes. Here we go. Oh, let me share. So now we're going to see the problems. Why are we doing this? We must have some problems that we want to congregate. We want to get together. So part two, current problems. Well, there is a controversy or some kind of like judgment and interpretation when we use the words church or religion. So to move away from those controversies, because there have been some kind of like misbehaviors and I don't know, some complexities, we're simply using the word congregation. We're not calling ourselves a church, we're not calling ourselves a religion, but we are a congregation, a union, a community. Now, not using the word church or religion doesn't mean that we are not spiritual. On the other hand, we are spiritual, but in a broader and pure sense. We're observing things that have been done wrong, not to repeat them. We're critical, we scrutinize, we observe, we use science, right? And psychology and all these to stay away from problems. Number two, we also recognize that there is individualism, materialism, unhappiness, overwork, economical hardship, separation from the divine, and all this is affecting modern societies. There are many energetic or functional illnesses, right? This is my area of expertise, like depression, anxiety, stress. There are also other diseases like cancer and cardiovascular disease, diabetes, that are affecting mainly cities and are related to some of the materialism, the overwork, the anxiety, right? Sometimes we feel bad, we eat a lot. So we're observing all these problems in society. And this is why we're getting together, because we're like, oh man, let us see what we can do. Number three, there are some basic teachings about functional health. Some of these teachings and wisdom have moral and spiritual values that can orient our functional health. For example, something is kind of a spiritually and existential is okay, what are you here in planet Earth to do? Why are we here together? right? So that kind of wisdom and exploration, they don't teach us much in modern societies in school. So we recognize that there is a little bit of a disconnect between what they teach us in modern society and some existential and spiritual concepts. So we want to see what the gaps are and fulfill them. Number four, medicine. We recognize that modern medicine is deficient in care. The treatment is not comprehensive, it is not integrative, is lacking in spirituality when we know that the brain has some spiritual network or networks that experience spirituality. So we're like, okay, well, if the healers are deficient and the healthcare systems, how can we get together and solve these problems? And of course, we talk about the functional illnesses epidemic that we're facing. Number five, actually, let us go until number six here to finish part B. Number five, we talk about the global chaos around people in prisons, around the immigrants, around some that are classified antisocial just because they don't seem to like and feel well in the current systems around the world. So we are developing empathy and curiosity for certain groups, and we recognize that they are not being well taken care of or investigated or tended to by the systems we have. So we want to help these ex-convicts, these antisocials, these mentally ill, right? So we are there. We're at the forefront of deep integrative healing in society. Number six, we recognize there are great difficulties designing and implementing large scale international health and social welfare plans, like plans for the ill, plans for the social in need, the plans for the spiritually lost. These are deficient, so we want to contribute to the creation of this large scale international integrative comprehensive uh, care that includes spirituality. Okay, let's do another pause. I just mentioned a few problems. Get ready to share. Mohammed, I don't know if you want to go first to change it up a little bit. Otherwise, I'm going to read what Tanya said. Feel free, Mohammed. Tanya is saying, wisdom, passion that fits purpose. Yes, right. We recognize the connection of emotions with spirituality, right? I'm passionate about my mission. I'm passionate about these topics and how these can inform, infuse wisdom. Tanya says global chaos. So many layers to this. Yes. I feel like we need to define these. Yes. And we will be defining global chaos and designing specific interventions and executive groups throughout the upcoming conversations. Yes, today is kind of a pretty general layout of what will be over over the decades to come. Mohammed, would you like to say anything? Tanya, would you like to add anything?
I'm good.
Okay, we can do a few more. I mean, we only have 10 minutes left. And then let us see, let us do a few more, and then it's gonna be enough for today. And then what we're saying is like, okay, well, in part three, we believe that we can design a better future. And this is why we're getting together. So we say, well, the sciences have a pretty important role clarifying and determining what is truth, especially whenever we are confused. We're going to use the sciences in this movement. Number two, we speak about the traditional spiritual sacraments. A sacrament is a substance that you take or any kind of matter, like for example, in the Christian Catholic Church is the hostia. How do you say that? The white thing, right, Tanya? In the Catholic Church, you take the body of Christ. So we are recognizing that we have some psychedelic, some natural psychedelic medicinal plants that are considered the spiritual sacraments traditionally for thousands of years. So we have discovered these, we have studied them, and we recognize their value. We also say that these substances have been distributed throughout Earth, especially the mushrooms. They are everywhere. In the Amazon, they have their own. In Africa, they have their own. So we're saying that these substances are heritage of humanity and that we all have the right to use them for spiritual and health, wealth, them wellness, advancement, and prosperity, especially in modern times of trade, transportation, and migration. We say, well, going back to spirituality, we believe that there is a superior divine force that has many names, and I mentioned some here. Olodumare is an African name. Great Spirit is from South America. God, Catholic, Adonai, Elohim. I think these are more Jewish and Buddhist names, Hindu names, Allah, Muslim name. So we recognize, okay, this force, this universal force has been called so many names, but let us remember when the planet originated at the beginning of humankind, there were no divisions. So we are recognizing that we can and we want to still talk to one another, build unity, union. We believe that we're going to be stronger together and richer culturally. So again, cultural appreciation number 5, to do cultural events, to promote education, creativity, learning, emotional development, and so on. Number 6, we want to acquire cultural and spiritual knowledge to prevent problems, to solve dilemmas, to end wars, and to become all friends and community. 7, we name some of the global initiatives that have been going on since 2007 by the World Health Organization and the UN around ancestral indigenous tribes, around traditional medicine that includes many of the psychedelic medicinal plants, around health and indigenous people, indigenous practices, and so on. So what we're doing is align with also the vision of global organizations. Lastly, number 8, we are saying we talk about human rights. We recognize, we obey, we accept these human rights to dignity, to life, to liberty. And searching for this and trying to practice this is one of the reasons why we get together. And we're going to leave it here, article number 2. For all the reasons named before, A, B, and C, then uh, we determine and proceed to the creation of the following congregation. These we're going to leave for another moment, the name, the branches, the objects, and the duration. I think for today, this is good. Let us take a breath and see how you would like to share. I'm going to read Tanya's in a moment.
Come on, Mohammed. Want to hear from you.
Thanks for all. Thanks, Dira. Thanks, Tanya. Uh, and that's it. I'm a bit confused. This is the second time I think with meeting like this. So okay, thanks for the informations. Thanks for meeting. Okay, and we need more. We need more to learn more to be maybe professional. more. Yeah, that's it. You, Tanya.
Oh, I got my notes. Yadira is reading.
Yes, I'm gonna read them. And one of the reasons I think why it's important and lovely, wonderful to have such an organization, Mohammed has been wanting to share more of his culture, travel and get to know other cultures in the world. So we would have a little bit more freedom for migration to be able to stay here and there for a few months studying. Tanya is
Yes.
saying, using science in the movement, I agree 100%. However, based on my experience with religion, I feel like the original wars were always connected to religious power, which my basic understanding is for them to be successful, there had to be a villain. And unfortunately, science was the undisclosed enemy associated to the devil. It could very well have been. I am not very aware of the details of the previous wars, even so that we didn't put it in. But yes, we have to be careful with everything, right? We're in a dual universe, so we have to be careful, right? With everything, stay observant and always try to keep our values. Tanya continues to say, so it is also about changing this narrative again for the specific generations. So I think it's a different approach based on the specific target market you're looking to engage. Yeah, I think I don't know, it's hard to tell. I would say it's for anyone who is English is speaking. And then I think people are going to feel if they want to belong to our movement or no. Tanya finalizes saying it's not going to be a one size fits all. Yes, let us see what happens. Today is the first conversation. Let us see what happens. So, what can we say to finalize? I'm very grateful. This is what I'm going to say. I'm very grateful to you, Tanya, because you are always present. You're always present. You're always supportive. You're always thoughtful. You're always engaged, speaking up, believing in other people, and wanting to build community. So, thank you so much, Tanya. Long life to you, health, prosperity. Count me in as well. And feel free, Tanya, to finish as well.
That's it, really. I think, for me, I've got a really specific loyalty and allegiance to you because your work was the one thing that connected a lot of my individual work that I did. And it came back to feelings and teaching me how to feel. And without that ability, I'd be living way more dissociated from my true nature and purpose. So the reason why I constantly come back to you is for that very reason, because the more pleasant people can be, the more connected they are to their authenticity and their purpose in life. And to be able to share that gift with the world, I guess that's why I keep coming back to you.
Yes, we have to have more time to practice, right? More time to do events, to be together 1 week, 2 weeks, a month out of the year. And everything that I developed, all the programs that I developed, I did it with the help of the natural psychedelic medicinal plants who were able to show me the importance of integration. So, and this is also why I'm doing the movement because I think they have a key role in the healing of functional disorders. I want to come to Australia. I want us to come to Australia, to South Africa, and continue, really continue strengthening our collaboration, Tanya. Mohammed, also you're very engaged. I know it's hard, Mohammed, right? It's like different time zone, and Mohammed and I haven't done any courses together. We haven't spent so much time together, and Mohammed continues to be also engaged and looking for more collaboration. Mohammed, what would you like to say to for us to finish today?
Yes, also in Tunisia, we have a nice place in the northwest, if you know it, in Draham, if you know it. So this is all mountains. My family is known from there, so they don't have like medicine, like from drugstore, pharmacy. So they just live with plants. So the medicine is plants. That's why my mom go there, bring plants and come. Sometimes sell it with neighbors or you know. Yeah, it's a good point. This one because bio and yeah, and they know the old people know they know everything about these things. They know everything about. And that's it. But the mushrooms, I listen you say mushrooms. So mushrooms kill so much people in the 80s and the 90s. Yeah, because it's dangerous. So they try it, and some people is like have problem in stomach. They die. People, so much people. So they put it in the news in the past. I think now people is know know everything. Internet, they ChatGPT, they know everything. So yeah, that's it. But
Yes.
good point in this plants and bio things.
Yes,
So I
that's a
take the advice always from the old people.
Mhm. That's a good point, right? All psychedelic medicinal plants, including the mushrooms, they are very serious medicines, very strong medicines. People are not supposed to be taking them casually for partying with alcohol. Like they have to be used within a spiritual context, with a community that knows what they are doing, within a spiritual setting. So this is a good reminder. And we are advocating and trying to guarantee with our through our efforts that this is what the world gets to know, that this is what people start doing it just with more respect. Okay, well, I think it's time for us to go. Let us continue in the groups, and maybe we'll have another meeting Thursday or Friday this week. I'm gonna announce it a few days before this time. Tanya,
Yep.
thank you. Let us continue privately, and Mohammed too. We'll see each other
Thank you
next
so much.
time.
Thank you. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Nice
Yeah.
to see you. Bye now.